Hey everybody, it's Gideon, and today we're going to talk about how to apply certain effects or coloring or really anything you want to a specific piece of footage or to a certain video file in Premiere. And we do that through adjustment layers. And I am using Premiere Pro 2025, but this works in all of the versions of Premiere. So you will just drag over a piece of footage into your timeline like I've done. We could click on this and start to edit directly on this piece of footage, but that's called the destructive way of doing things. And really the better way to do it is to come over here to your project panel or your bin, whatever you have open, hit new item, and click on adjustment layer. This window opens up. You just hit OK and come back over here. You can see the adjustment layer has been created. Drag and drop this on top of your piece of footage. And then we want everything we're going to do to affect this whole piece of footage. So I need to drag out the length of this adjustment layer and snap it to the ends. And there we go. Now maybe the first thing I want to do is adjust coloring on this log profile that we have, this flat kind of color scheme that is going on in this video. So I'm going to click right on the adjustment layer. Then I'm going to open up the Lumetri color tab. And let's say, I know I want contrast in here. So I'm going to find contrast, and since our adjustment layer is highlighted, all of these changes are only going to be applied to the adjustment layer. So you don't have to worry about messing up your footage. So I'll slide over the contrast slider. I'll bring down the darks a little bit and maybe just give it a little bit more exposure, and there we go. I've adjusted the color. And you can adjust as many of these sliders that you need to for your piece of footage. Maybe there is an effect that you just want this piece of footage to have. So I'll go to the effects tab. Maybe I want blur. And I use Gaussian blur. Drag and drop this directly to the adjustment layer, so that only the adjustment layer has that Gaussian blur. But anything under this adjustment layer will be affected, which is our footage. So it doesn't automatically apply it. So I have adjustment layer selected. I go up here to Effect Controls. Scroll down, and right here's my Gaussian blur. And if we increase that, it affects the footage underneath. If you don't like something, you could come up in here, click on it and hit delete. It'll go away. Or maybe you want to start over. Maybe you just don't like any of that. I can hide this layer. And so now it's hiding anything on this layer, which we only have the adjustment layer on there. So the adjustment layer is basically turned off, and now we can see our original piece of footage. You don't have to hide the layer. You can toggle that back on. And then maybe you just don't want this adjustment layer, or you don't like the adjustments you made. Click on it and then tap delete, and you're back to your original piece of footage. And you can do that all the way down the timeline with any piece of footage that you have. A lot of times you'll have many clips, right? So it'll look more like this. And then I can come over and just keep dragging adjustment layers on here. Or let's say you want to duplicate it. I can just drag this out. And so this adjustment layer will become as long as I want it, and it will cover as many pieces of footage that I want. If you don't want that and you need every piece of footage to have its own effects and coloring, that's fine. You can just snap this back, come over here back to your bin or your project panel, and drag a brand new adjustment layer. And maybe that's for my second one. And then I'll click right on this, and then I'll do my adjustments, and so on and so forth. So I can come back to my bin, find the adjustment layer, click, hold, and drag, and snap this right to my next clip. Click right on the new adjustment layer, and then do my adjustments. And that's how you affect single clips and use adjustment layers inside of Adobe Premiere Pro.